FightFan.com. What's up? It's your man, Pretty Boy Floyd, the one and only.
Hello to FightFans.com.
FightFan.com.
James Lights Out, Tony.
How you doing?
Alright, so we're FightFan.com with the legendary Wildcard Gym with Freddie Roach. Freddie, always thanks for having us. Wanted to ask you maybe a little bit about how training's going this far for the Pacquiao De La Hoya fight. Anything different?
No different. Just bigger sparring partners and just work as normal. Feeding him a little bit more, of course. You know, so he's at 152 pounds right now. His body fat's at 6%, so he's in really good shape, and everything's going well. I'm really happy.
So it's a big fight that's finally coming off, but you've actually been talking about this fight for some time. I just wondered if you could maybe elaborate a little bit on why you've always liked this matchup so much.
Well, you know, the thing is, the big challenge is that Manny gets up for, and the thing is, you know, Humberto Soto was our next fight, and I mean, he can't get up for fights like that. Oscar De La Hoya he can get up for, and the thing is, I trained Oscar for a fight, and for Oscar to come down to 147, I think he's going to struggle. And my guy weighed 147 pounds going into the day of the fight, and he's having trouble making 135, and so I think his best fighting weight probably is 140 right now, but then when the opportunity came to fight Oscar at 147, I thought about it, and I believe my guy can win the fight, so that's why we're here.
You see some people toss out that this is a size mismatch. Do you think it's not as bad as some people are saying?
You know, size doesn't win fights.
That's right. It is boxing.
Speed, power, boxing ability, game plan, activity. My guy's fought 4 times this year. Oscar hasn't fought 4 times in 4 years.
Right, right. What do you think about the strength? Like I saw you hitting the mitts with Oscar when you worked with him. You hit the mitts with Manny all the time. You think there's a size? What's the strength difference like?
Manny hits way harder.
Wow.
Manny's much. We have advantage in the punch. There's no doubt about that in my mind. Anything, activity and speed. And you know, the thing is, Oscar just can't pull the trigger.
That's right. What do you think about the style matchup? What in it favors Manny, do you think?
Well, I'll go with Oscar's advantage, I think, is his jab.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get past the jab. Everybody knows that. It's not a secret. I'm not going to pretend it is. And that's his best weapon. We have to get inside the jab and fight at close range. That's our goal. That's our job. And that's what we're working on in the gym, and by fight time, we'll be ready for that jab.
Is Manny's defense going to play a big part in this fight? A lot of guys that are defensive, slick guys, trouble Oscar. Manny's improved in that area in the last little while, but what do you think of this fight for that?
He's improved, but being an offensive person like he is, when you go with the offense, you can be hit. So he'll get hit. I mean, that's part of his game plan. I mean, because that's the way he fights. He's very offensive, very explosive, and when you go for it, you put yourself in harm's way sometimes, but I believe he can take Oscar's punch, and Oscar has a good left hook, and the right hand I'm not really worried about. But, we'll see. You know, Oscar brought in the legendary Angelo Dundee,
I heard that.
Assistant, a good friend of mine, a great guy, probably the best asset to his camp. I like Angelo, and he's a good guy, and he's a very knowledgeable guy, but you know, can he help Nacho? I don't know.
How much do you guys have to look out for the left hook?
A lot.
A lot? The right hand is always a southpaw weapon, but you're not too worried about that?
He put that in his pocket. I don't care about
Right, all right.
He doesn't. Every trainer he's ever had tried to improve the right hand.
That's right.
Nobody's been able to do it.
Can Manny afford to bang with Oscar? Like, I think back to, you know, the fights where he clasped the gloves against his head and he, bring it on. You think he's going to stand there and trade with Oscar?
Yep.
Yeah? All right, fair enough. What about Oscar fading late in fights? Do you think you guys are going to step it up as the fight goes on? That's obviously no secret either.
We're going to step it up from round 1 and make this guy fight. He gets tired he gets tired in slow-paced fights. We're going to push him and push him and push him.
Now, you mentioned, I wanted to ask your thoughts on him bringing in Nacho. Obviously, you know, he had some success with Marquez, but does that bring anything to the table for Oscar, or is it?
You know, can you make Oscar Marquez?
Right.
I don't think so. I think Oscar's what he is at this point in his life. I don't think he's gonna. He has his own thoughts, and he's a smart fighter. Obviously, he was a great fighter in his prime, but you know, he's not even right in the top 10 anymore. Never mind pound for pound, not in the top 10 in any sanctioned body division.
Freddie, what do you think about Manny's motivation for this fight? A lot of people throw the dollar figures around, but you know, Manny does well for himself outside of the ring and stuff like that. So, what do you think this fight means to him?
Well, you know, money doesn't hurt.
Right.
You know, society makes us need that money, but the thing is, it's great. It's not really not what this fight does for Manny money-wise. What it does for his future is what's important. I mean, he'll fight mega fights. He'll get to fight Ricky Hatton probably next. If Hatton can win his next fight, and you know, maybe Floyd Jr. if he wants to step it up and come back into the ring, which I hear he may. So you know, it puts him at a new level, and you know, a lot of Oscar fans will become Manny Pacquiao fans, I feel.
Right. Do you think there's anything personal in it for Manny? I know they had, you know, some sticky business dealings at some points, and
you know, they're both gentlemen, but they don't like each other.
Okay.
I mean, you know, but they're not going to talk trash. It's my job.
You think the Mexicans are going to support Manny? I'm hearing a lot of rumblings about that.
Of course.
Yeah?
I mean, it's not. He fights like a true Mexican warrior. I mean, they've never liked Oscar, and he's never had their support. Nothing's going to change there.
And what about the sparring you guys have been doing? You said he's been beating up the bigger guys. That's going well so far with the bigger partners you brought in?
Yeah, Martin Cordova, Rashad Holloway. Good asset to the camp has been Amir Khan, because Amir's got really fast hands, better jab than Oscar's, and he has speed, and he has the height. So, because I'm training him for his next fight also. So we have those three guys, and Yuri Foreman's on his way in. So I've got some really good guys for sparring, and everything's going really well.
Excellent. Last thing I wanted to ask you about maybe was the weight. You mentioned he's 152 right now. What would you like to see him come at, you know, when he weighs in? What would you like to see him come in the ring at?
Well, we're going to weigh 147 at the weigh-in, and going into the ring will be 150.
Okay, so right around that, and that's good and makes him strong, you think?
Well, his speed and power is there at 150. I think anything bigger would make him sluggish a little bit. It would hurt the speed a little bit. So 50's our limit.
Excellent. All right, I think that's good, Freddie. We'll be anxiously awaiting the fight. Best of luck in training.
Thank you very much.
All right.